I'm just a working mom doing my own dip powder nails. I'm not a trained professional. My hope is to inspire you by sharing my own creations. Enjoy! The very first step when beginning a new manicure for me is to use my Dremel with a coarse grit sanding band to scuff up the previous top coat layer. This will help to minimize the soak-off time. I have my low-tech soak-off supplies ready here, a large glass bowl with very warm water in it, 2 quart-sized freezer bags with a piece of paper towel in each one, and 100% pure acetone. The acetone goes in the bags go in the warm water, and the hands go in the bags. Time to get soaking! It's been 8 minutes soaking and gently rubbing, and I have most of the dip off except some stubborn glitter area. I'm going to add a bit more acetone and warm the water back up and soak a few more minutes. Another 6 minutes got the rest off, and then I washed my hands with a lotion-free soap to help remove some of that residue from the soaking process. Time to get those nails ready! I'm filing the edges using a medium grit nail file to shape and smooth. My preference is a square tip, but shape to your desired look, of course. Next, I'll take some time to push back my cuticles to expose new nail growth and maximize surface area for dip application. And then I will use this fine grit sanding block to gently buff off the natural nail shine, concentrating on the cuticle edges, then only lightly on the rest of the nail. This step is important to create a good bonding surface and help reduce the chance of lifting and cracking. It's time to create some dip powder nails. What I have here is the liquid base coat and build powder. I like to apply a few coats of this first to add strength and shaping to the final look. This isn't an absolutely necessary step, so you can skip it to save time, but I do like my nails thick and strong. For this particular manicure, I will apply 3 coats of build powder. The first layer is a skinny strip down the center of the nail, but not all the way to the cuticle. Then dip into the build powder. And repeat on all the nails, then brush off the excess powder. For my second layer of build powder, I apply a slightly wider strip, but not all the way to the side edges, and to only about half the length of the nail. I find that this application technique helps to create a nice apex shape to the final manicure. I'll do a third coat of build powder here. This would typically be a first coat of color, but I'm only planning 2 coats of color this time, and typically do 3 coats of color. So I'm adding a third coat of Build in its place for consistency in my dip thickness. I'm applying across the nail all the way to the side edges this time, but to only about 2/3 the length. To avoid too much thickness at the cuticle edge, I will apply each successive coat closer to the cuticle. Alright, getting into color. I have the liquid base coat, a pretty shimmery wintry glitter dip, as well as an assortment of 5 different shades of lovely lavenders and pretty purples for each of my fingers. I have a catch tray here because I'll be pouring the dip over my nails today to achieve a vertical ombre with the glitter dip on one side and the solid color on the other side. I'll apply the liquid base coat closer to the cuticle than the last layer, but not the whole nail yet. Grabbing my first shade of purple and holding my nail over the tray sideways, I pour the dip on only this side of the nail. I'm going to flip the nail, tap off the excess powder, then pour the glitter dip over the other side of the nail. Tap that off again, and repeat on the other nails using a different shade of solid purple each time. Here is the second coat of vertical ombre application. Similar to the last coat, except I'll go ahead and apply to the entire nail at this point, and I will pour the glitter dip first and the solid color second to better blend the center line. For a little extra touch of twinkle, I'm going to apply some pieces of this chunky glitter to my ring fingernail as an accent, because why not? I'm using that liquid base coat to help adhere the glitter. Then I'm pouring over some clear dip powder to help encapsulate the glitter I just placed. And using that liquid base coat and clear dip powder again, I'm going to apply 2 coats to protect the purple color and glitter from the filing process. To continue to minimize the dip thickness at the cuticle, I will apply the first coat to about 3/4 of the nail length, not all the way to the cuticle. For the second coat of clear dip, I will go ahead and apply to the entire nail. To help prevent liquid base coat from pooling at the cuticle and edges, I generally start over the previous dip layer in the middle, then extend closer to the edges as the amount of liquid on the brush decreases. With more dip layers, I find that I need to dip the same finger more than once to be sure that all the base coat is fully saturated with powder. And at this point, all the dipping is done. I'll be applying activator to fully harden the dip powder, using a generous amount to get through all those layers. Then I let that sit for at least 10 minutes before beginning the filing process. A few more things to do before calling this done. I'll use a coarse grit nail file to correct the shape of the nail, get those sides straight, and round off any lumps or bumps over the whole surface. Then a fine grit sanding block to smooth over that coarse filed surface. Then, to ensure a glossy finish, I'll soft buff the nails as well. Just as a before and after comparison, the hand at the top has not been filed and buffed yet. I finished both hands and will now apply one more light coat of activator to help fast cure the top coat, which is the next step. Just be sure to give the activator a few to several minutes to sit first, and wipe the nails clean, preferably with a lint-free cloth. The first coat of top coat should be applied in just a few quick strokes to help minimize the occurrence of brush hardening. It is always a good idea to have a bottle of brush saver nearby in case a new brush is needed. The second coat of top coat I'll apply only about 2 minutes later, and I can spend a little more time on application this time to get that ultra glossy finish. And here is my final reveal. After taking care of my hands by applying cuticle oil and a nourishing skin lotion, I really enjoy the frosty purple look here, with the chunky glitter pop on the ring finger, and the different shades of purple keep you guessing and create an aura of winter mystery. One side of the nail is frosty glitter, which fades over to a pretty shade of soft lavender purple, which was achieved using the pour over vertical ombre technique. I call it Purple Frost. Let's look a little bit more, shall we? Thank you for checking out my nail design with me. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment with any questions or feedback.